We carry it in our pockets, coated in silicon and stamped in plastic. We sweat for it, kill for it, and build civilizations upon it. But money is not real. It is a ghost, a collective agreement, a masterpiece of human imagination. Long before the first bank, there was the debt. For decades, textbooks told a convenient lie, the myth of barter. They imagined a shepherd trading a sheep for a bag of grain, a clumsy, immediate exchange. But history reveals a far more complex social glue. In the small circles of the ancient world, money was unnecessary. Life was governed by mutuum, a Latin term for a loan of fungible goods. It was a ledger of favors kept in the mind. You didn't trade for the grain, you were owed for the grain. But as the world expanded, memory failed. We needed a physical vessel for trust. Enter the cowrie shell. Small, impossible to counterfeit. It was the world's first global software. From the markets of Bengal to the kingdoms of Africa, these shells transformed trust into something you could hold. Historical narration continues about the transition to early metallurgy and the growing need for standardization as civilizations grew more complex. The year is 600 BCE. The kingdom of Lydia. The air smells of charcoal and molten metal. Here, the alchemy of trust finds its most enduring form. This is the Lydian lion. Crude, lumpy, and revolutionary. Before this, gold had to be weighed on a scale at every transaction, a process fraught with suspicion. By stamping his seal upon the metal, the king gave his word. The value was no longer in the weight, it was in the authority of the state. This was the birth of moneta, the origin of our word for money, named for the temple of Juno Moneta. For the first time, a merchant saw the law. Voiceover details the rapid expansion of trade enabled by standardized coinage and the newfound speed of commerce across the Mediterranean. While Europe struggled through the Dark Ages, the East reached a breaking point. The Chinese economy was so vast, the metal couldn't keep up. Merchants were forced to carry strings of iron coins weighing hundreds of pounds just to buy a single bolt of silk. They called it Fachian, flying money. These were the jiaozi. Not money itself, but a promise. A receipt for metal. The Song Dynasty realized something profound: if everyone trusts the paper, you never actually need the metal. But trust is a fragile thing. By the time of the Ming Dynasty, the temptation to print became an addiction. They printed until the paper was worthless. Historical narration about the first lesson in hyperinflation and the necessity of tethering money to discipline and scarcity. By the 1800s, the British Empire spanned the globe, and it needed a single, unshakable truth. They found it in the yellow metal. Under the guidance of men like Sir Isaac Newton, the world entered the era of the gold standard. Every pound, every dollar was anchored to a vault. This was the golden shackle. It brought a period of unprecedented price stability, but it was a rigid master. The system began to choke. But it was a rigid master. If your economy grew, but your gold supply didn't, the system began to choke. Then came the wars. The Depression. August 15, 1971. With a single announcement, the tether was cut. The world entered the age of fiat. Latin for "let it be done." Narrative continues explaining the shift from gold-backed currency to the modern era of central banking and fiat money. We have moved from shells to lions, from mulberry paper to bars of gold, and finally to pulses of light in a fiber optic cable. We often ask what money is backed by. The answer is simpler and more terrifying than we imagine. It is backed by us. By the fact that you believe it, I believe it, they believe it has value. Money is the most successful story we have ever told. It is the alchemy of trust. Silence followed by the sound of the coin stopping.